So every spring, Rolex not only releases new watches, but also discontinues some of their previous models, which they very sneakily, without any further announcements, just, delete off their website. And then you get a panicked crowd of people who are now desperately trying to get their hands on one of those discontinued models, because within weeks or even days, their prices just skyrocket. This year, it's all going down on the 30th of March at exactly 9 a.m. Central European time, when Watches and Wonders open their gates and Rolex presents their new watches for 2022 and likewise discontinue some of their watches. So in this video, I have collected all of the juiciest rumors and predictions to give you the best overview of what might be happening and what people are currently talking about. I am first going to start with 6 of the most talked about predictions, and then I will follow up with 3 watches that are most likely going to be discontinued in about 4 weeks. I will also give each prediction a score from 1 to least, up to 10 for most likely. And a big thank you goes out to the sponsor of this video, CHRONEXT. If you think about buying a new watch, I recommend checking out CHRONEXT.com, as CHRONEXT is one of the biggest online retailers for all of your favorite watches, providing pickup lounges for you all over the world. CHRONEXT also gave me a special promo code for my viewers, so you can use my code JENNISPECIAL to check how much money you'll be able to save on your next CHRONEXT purchase. So that is a JENNISPECIAL on CHRONEXT.com, so make sure to check out the link in the description box down below. But now let's get started with the Rolex predictions for 2022. So the first one is hotly debated, especially since Watchfinder put a mock-up of this watch in their thumbnail in one of the latest videos. They argue that Rolex has already proven to be quite bold and adventurous when it comes to, bright colors, since they came out with the incredible colorful Oyster Perpetuals from 2 years ago. But on the other side, with the exception of some really special watches like the Rainbow Daytona, Rolex has never been really too colorful when it comes to their sports watches, so a bright red would be rather unusual and just deviates from their rather conservative approach when it comes to changing their iconic sports models. So yeah, I will give this a 3 out of 10. It would be cool to see and rather daring, but not very Rolex-like. It has been rumored for a couple of years now that Rolex is coming out with a GMT-Master Coke, so a black and red bezel, especially since the Pepsi came out in 2018. And I think the rumor is so persistent because it's something a lot of Rolex fans would love to see. Why this could actually come true is based on the fact that the old GMT Masters up to the middle of the 2000s had this exact color combo, and Rolex has been known to revive previous looks and colors. We've all seen it, because the Pepsi from 2018 is basically a reissue of the Pepsi from, about 15 years prior. But yeah, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but Rolex has been making plenty of changes to their GMT line the past couple of years, more specifically every year since 2019. And since there are already 2 models within that line, I think it makes for enough variation for Rolex. So I would give this a 5 out of 10. Not impossible, but not very likely either. So up until 2019, we had an entirely black GMT-Master 2 that then got discontinued, and since then people keep on speculating about the black GMT coming back, but this time, on a Jubilee bracelet. And here's the thing, in 2019 Rolex has also discontinued the Batman, only to bring it back a couple of years later on a Jubilee bracelet and an updated movement, and the same could also be the case with the black GMT. But there is also the fact that up until 2018 the Submariner and the GMT were very, if not too similar, and so people also speculate that Rolex wants to set these 2 lines apart better. So for example, by bringing out a sub in yellow gold and leaving the rose gold only for the GMT, and the sub with unicolored bezels only, and the 2 tones for the GMTs. And I would give this prediction a 4 out of 10 because I think Rolex will leave the GMT in black discontinued to, reserve the all black look for the Submariner, so the lines are, just easier to tell apart, I guess. The next rumor or prediction are about the Rolex Milgauss. Apparently they have planned an update for the watch to make it feel more like the original version from the 1956s. And I mean, yeah, the Milgauss has not been changed since what feels like forever, and it's still the weird kid within the entire Rolex catalog. But why this might not be very likely is something I want to talk about in my next part. So for now, I will give this a 5 out of 10. The Rolex Sky Dweller, being an annual calendar, makes it one of the most complicated watches Rolex has ever made, and according to some very persistent rumors, we can expect a new version that might even be made from platinum. And there are two reasons why this might be more likely than you think. First up, this year makes the 10-year anniversary of the Sky Dweller, so you know that's special. And secondly, it has been introduced in yellow, rose and white gold in 2012. So we are still left without a platinum version, which would really fit into the lineup, I think. But what could hold things back is the fact that the Sky Dweller was given an update only, last year with coming out on an Oyster Flex strap. So all in all, I would say that this is a strong 7 out of 10 for an update for the Sky Dweller, since it's, 10-year anniversary this year, even though it may be not the platinum after all. The Daytona has been available in precious metals with a ceramic bezel on a leather or Oyster Flex strap for a couple of years now. So that's why people now are talking about a long overdue update for the stainless steel models. What speaks for this rumor first and foremost are the consequences of it. Rolex is known to work on and improve the lines very slowly and carefully, so it would make sense that Rolex would now also update their precious metal Daytonas with a ceramic bezel. But to keep the full gold look, Rolex could also just keep the bezel in precious metal. Otherwise it wouldn't be a proper solid gold watch anymore. So I would give this a 6 out of 10 since we already have the Chrome bezel models. And the next one is a rumor I had and still have so much fun with. With a bit of magic, I made a mock-up of this particular yellow gold Submariner with a green dial, and I think it would look absolutely stunning. And here's the thing, those are the Rolex colors, and since the Hulk has been discontinued, there is again room, I would say, for a green adult Submariner. But all colored dials have been discontinued in 2020, and we already have 2 yellow gold variations of the sub, so yeah, I'm not sure if Rolex is really going to go for it, so that's why I would give this a 4 out of 10, and it might even be a bit too optimistic since I just want this so badly for myself. Right, now let's talk about those watches that are discussed to be discontinued come April 2022, which oftentimes leads to the prices of these watches just skyrocket overnight. Yeah, the rumor that the Air King is going to be discontinued has been circling around for quite some time now. The price has been going up, which seems to reflect that a lot of people believe that the rumor is to be true. To them, it's just a matter of when and not an if. The reason for that remains as believable as it has been in the past couple of years. Rolex has ended their not so successful partnership with the Project Bloodhound SSC, I think it is, which the Air King got its design from, and you can't help but feel that the Air King also just looks really out of place within the Rolex catalog in general. But then again, we have been speculating about that for the past 2 or 3 years and nothing happened. So yeah, that can very well be the case here too. So that's why I would give it a 6 out of 10, simply because it feels like now could be the year it finally happens. Another very persistent rumor and prediction is for the Daytona in yellow gold with the green dial and the platinum version to be discontinued. Both of these watches' prices have been exploding during the past 6 months. People are now willing to spend more than $100,000 more than they were compared to 2021. And to be honest, there really isn't anything else that speaks for that besides the fact that prices have been going up like crazy, which is also just, based on speculations. Some people claim to get their info from Rolex, insiders and all that, but you know how that goes. But the only real pro argument here is that they have been available for quite some time. What speaks against it is the fact that all of this is just, a case of a self-fulfilling prophecy. In terms of that, people speculate and prices go up, and then prices go up because people speculate and so on. So that's why this gets a 5 out of 10. And now we get to the Rolex Milgauss, because this is another watch that is speculated to be discontinued, and that's why I have touched on this regarding the part where I talked about the rumored update to the Milgauss. And yeah, if it really is being discontinued, there is not going to be an update to the watch, obviously. But what speaks for this? Well, just like the Air King, the Milgauss feels very much out of place and seems like a relic from a time before the Rolex hype broke out. And so it would make sense that at least something is going to happen to this watch. And since the watch isn't distributed to ADs as much, it can simply just be that Rolex is discontinuing it to, just free up resources for their more popular models. There isn't really something in particular that speaks against it, so I would give this a 6 out of 10, simply because the Milgauss feels out of place just as much as the Air King. And that was it, the hottest Rolex rumors and predictions for 2022, including the new releases and discontinued watches. So what do you think is going to happen this year? Do you think this is all just speculations, or do you think there is some truth to them? As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and we can get the discussion going. And this is all I have for you today. If you have enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would give this a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, you can always subscribe to my channel, and then I will see you in my next video. Bye!